Yeah, so we were talking about different ways by which we can implement our or initialize our WebDriver. So we talked about simple one, a simple method, simple static method. Then we talked about a singleton method, and then we talked about the factory method. So factory method I explained in quite hurry because the time was running out. But yeah, I think I have explained whatever I wanted to explain. Now really it comes to your understanding of it and your doubts and questions, and on using which I can explain it in further detail. But yeah, this is what it is. And when it comes to the initialization of WebDriver, you can, I'm just insisting, I'm telling this again and again, then you can do initialize a WebDriver as simple as this. This also would work because the framework which we have created is we are not initializing the driver at various places. We are always going to invoke the browser only in a single method. So even in a long term, if you want to modify something, all you have to make changes in a single method, right? So in our case, in this specific framework structure, it doesn't really make much sense to create these uh, implement these WebDriver design patterns. But as I said, it's always better to implement good design patterns because you never know. Because right now we are at a very nascent stage. We don't know when our framework becomes very too huge, where we would find new problem statements because of this simple implementation. And second, if you have good understanding of these frameworks, these design patterns, you will also try to implement them. So if you make use of these design patterns, it becomes easy for you to understand and implement these kind of concepts in different problem statements. For example, you want to create an object, a separate object, not a WebDriver, separate object. If you want to, let's say, do that, let me admit another person 1 minute. So if you want to do that, then also your understanding of how a design pattern works and how to create a design pattern will improve, and you can implement these kind of solutions there as well. Right, so that's why it's imperative that you understand these factory, singleton, as well as builder. So builder, I'm not using it right now, but yeah, you should. By the way, builder is what I have also created an example for. So this is a builder I've created. Maybe I'll explain this not in today's session, but later, how you'll use these builder and what cases you can use it. Right. So that is something for later. But yeah, this is how one of the many ways by which you can initialize it. Okay. Now, when it comes to you guys can actually choose which one to use. I'll not say that you go and design it on your own. You can actually copy paste these code and do it, but I will still insist that you use it. You try to implement it. So I think Chintan wants to ask something. Chintan, you want to ask something? I saw your hand raised. Yes, Chintan, tell me.
Yeah. Sir, this is factory method and page factory both are different things. Yeah, same.
See, Page Factory is a structure present inside Selenium library, which is based on a factory design pattern. So Page Factory is actually used for page object model implementation. Page object model is a concept. You can do it in many ways. So Selenium provides a way within itself called as Page Factory. And since you can see the name as Page Factory, that simply means that whatever implementation Selenium has done, they have done by using factory design pattern. Okay. All right. So by the way, we are not using Page Factory here. We are using simple page object model. So you don't see any Page Factory annotations here. We used to use it earlier. All the old students must have seen it, but this time we are not using it. There's no specific reason why we are not using it. It's just I wanted to get away from that line. That okay, now it's too much Page Factory. Let's implement a simple page object model, right? And guys, give me a minute. Yeah, sorry. So yeah, so that's the reason. Basically, primarily, I am not using Page Factory. I mean, there is no specific reason why I'm not using it. It's just for the sake of implementing something else. So that's the reason I'm using Page Object Model. It's not Page Factory. Guys, any question on this factory design pattern, abstraction, polymorphism, any sort of interview question which you have must heard of around this, anything you want to discuss around this, please, now is the time, before I move on to the next topic.
Sir,
Yeah.
is this the alternative for dependency injection?
Not really the alternative, but yeah, you can use singleton. Basically, singleton is in some sense, I'm not sure if I'm right, but singleton in some sense can be a solution for instead of or alternative for dependency injection. Why? Because dependency injection concept is how you will pass on the state of the object from one class to another class. The same instance is what we want to share, right? And singleton also, as an idea, as a concept, also provides that if you just initialize it once, the same instance is available across everywhere wherever your framework is. In a single virtual machine, a JVM machine, it's going to be same instance will be returned. So in some sense, you can say that dependency injection alternative can be a singleton, right? But yes, a dependency injection has different concepts. It's a different use case. For example, in our case, Cucumber supports dependency injection, so why not just use it? So Cucumber supports, this scenario object which we introduced, right? This also is, you can say, is a dependency injection. Cucumber has its own implementation of injecting the scenario object within. Even this object which is present here, test context UI, is also a Cucumber feature, Cucumber Pico container feature. And the idea behind all this is same, that to avoid object creation, right? The control of object creation should be taken away from the user. So here also, I have taken the control of object creation away from the user using factory as well as singleton. So here you will not say WebDriver driver equal to new Chrome driver, because that control I have taken away, right? Similarly, in dependency injection, the same thing is happening, right? Test context UI, test context UI. I'm not writing test context UI equal to new text context UI. The object creation. So text UI, context UI, object creation is taken care by the Cucumber library or Cucumber Pico container library. So the idea is same here. Getting it? So idea of creation of the object is same, that it should be taken away. The idea of creating the object should be taken away from the user. So dependency injection, inversion of control, the same concept apply, take it away, as well as WebDriver, as well as factory, singleton, or so to say, all of these, right? Creational, as your name suggests, creational design pattern is how to create objects. What are the best ways to create objects? So these design patterns are the best way of creating the objects. Okay, so we are right now learning what are the best ways of creating the object. Simple way to you already know, guys, right? Using new keyword, that's a simple way of creating the object. But right now we are focusing on the best ways of creating objects, so that when you scale your project, it doesn't becomes a problem. Okay, so we will continue to use dependency injection because Cucumber supports it, and we also can use it. But if you don't want to use it, it's still fine. That's why we're learning it, because perhaps there is a framework, you go into a company and you find a framework where there's no dependency injection. So if they have no dependency injection, they must have implemented something called a singleton, factory, or something of that sort. Okay, so you should be aware about all these things. If dependency injection ही करते हैं, ऐसा नहीं. We always will do dependency injection. It's not that. You can achieve the similar kind of behavior with some other design patterns.
So we can use any of these with dependency injection, then it is fine, right?
Yes, I'm using it. See, I'm using it. I'm using dependency injection pattern. Then I'm using factory also. I can use singleton also in the same. And singleton primarily is used for WebDriver. It can also be used for database connection, right? So database connection once created should be reused across all the classes. That's the concept. That should happen, because if you create connection again and again, the server can get hanged, right? So it's always good to reuse the connection. So in this case, I have it actually. I can actually show you. You see, this is another singleton class. I guess this is this is a singleton class, C private. So this singleton is what I can actually use. The singleton class is what I can use for DB connection. So you need to really decide where you want to use what. Okay, you should not be blindly doing. For example, for creation of WebDriver, If let's say I'm using builder design pattern, there's no point, because builder design pattern is usually to create more complex or object which require more parameter or arguments. So it is best used there. So instead of using builder, because in creation of WebDriver, it's not very complex, not many arguments I have to pass. All I have to say Chrome or Firefox or something like that. Not many. So I have used factory design pattern for WebDriver. Right? Let's say if I want to create a user, so I know, let me show you that perhaps. I don't know if it makes sense to you, but for the sake of the argument, let's say this is a user. Now this user object, let's say if you want to create in your project, it requires many things: first name, last name, age, address, mobile. Let's say there are 100 more alternatives. For example, in the bank project, it's a retail banking. The user will have lot of information, lot of attributes. So name, account number, details, last password, first password, last address, 5 old addresses, lot of attributes. In such cases, if you want to create the object of that user, it's always better to create using a builder design pattern. Okay, so I don't want you guys to be confused about these design patterns. It's not that a framework is based on a specific design pattern. It's not that. Design patterns are used to create objects. What kind of objects you are going to create, what are the features, properties of that object is going to be. Based on that, you're going to choose your design pattern for that specific object. Okay, so in the case of WebDriver, I'm using factory design pattern. In case I have to create a user, I'm going to create a builder design pattern. Getting it? In case I want to share the state, I am going to use dependency injection. So I'm making use of different design patterns and concepts in our framework. And it's not something which I'm just putting in there in order to use them, just for the sake of using them. They are actually required. These are actual industry standard ways of doing these things.
So industry में commonly क्या ऐसे ही use करते हैं?
Yes. See, what I'm telling you guys now, it's really very, very similar to what industry uses. Okay, I'm not telling you, I see these things could be complex for you. Reason being, you're not exposed to these things. But this time this is what I'm doing. I'm telling you the best possible ways or best possible things you're going to witness when you go to a real project. These kind of things are there in the frameworks, across all projects and companies. Right?
Sir, now how would we determine apart from the page factory? Sorry, let me correct myself. Factory pattern, singleton, and the abstract one which you have used. How we will understand which to use?
Right.
Like you said, builder we are using for if there are many.
Right. So I'll tell you. This comes by experience. Okay, and experience is when you start implementing something and you need to know the concepts behind it. Okay, factory, builder, they all are to create objects. So builder is what we use when you want to create a complex object. So let's say there is an object which is required. Example, user. I gave an example of a user, right? User is an object which can have many attributes, many properties. For example, in case of driver, we had only one property called as Chrome. If you say Chrome, Firefox, and that is it. Right? Not much property. But in the user case, we have many properties. Where is my user example? This one. It could have many properties. So in this case, it makes sense to use builder design pattern for creation of the object. Okay.
And for singleton and abstract one?
Yeah. And in singleton case, you will use it when you want to make sure that only one instance of the object will be available wherever you go and initialize it. Right? So let's say driver, I want to access the same driver everywhere. I don't want to pass driver from one class to another class to another class. I want to make sure that single instance is available. It gives me more control over the object. If you want to have such kind of situation where you want to have more control of the object so that the same instance is available everywhere, you're going to use singleton, right? And factory is used when you have a statement where we have less information, less parameters, less arguments, right? And then you want to encapsulate and abstract as well, right? So in that case, you're going to use factory. And there are also few examples where if you use builder or if you use factory, both are of the same weightage. Both will solve the purpose, right? But the original statement is this, that you don't want to write loose code where you are initializing using new keyword. To avoid this, that's why these principles have come into picture. These things gives you more control over your objects. Okay, and that is a primary, and all these things you are going to get by experience. The more you implement these things, the better understanding would become on how to implement these things, and in what cases what needs to be implemented. And of course you will make mistakes. Perhaps the best way to do is builder and you are implementing factory, right? And then you have implemented, and then you actually would get to know, okay, I have made a mistake. And that is why we do dummy projects, right? So it's okay. It's not, I'm not expecting people to, or even you guys should not expect yourself to be creating a very, very good code in the first attempt. I have 11 years of experience. I have also made many mistakes, and from those mistakes, I'm learning things. I have learned things, by the way, right? So you will also going to take some time in knowing what is best fit where, what is the best fit where. But underlying concepts you should know. When to use builder, or at least if you don't know when to use it, at least you should know what is builder, what is factory, and what is singleton. All right. So these things you should know. Then only you will be able to make a wise choice on what framework or what kind of structure or what kind of design pattern you want to implement. Getting it?
Okay. Okay.
So see. I think 70-80% people who are right now listening, it's going bouncer, right? Which is okay. I'm not expecting everyone to get everything here. But what I want is that whatever information you got from here, you have to try it out on your own first. Because without that, you will not get it. Because why I'm telling you this? Because of my own experience. When I encountered these concepts, it was like completely bouncer to me. I was thinking of what's happening. I just didn't know what is factory, what is builder, why we want to do it, right? All these questions would be coming to you. I've tried to answer a lot of those questions. And I'm also not an expert on design patterns, by the way. I'm not a developer, right? So I'm not an expert on it. But I sure know how to use, when to use, how to create, all those things I very, very, very well know. And I have also seen the problems in my frameworks which I created earlier, where I did not use all this, and what kind of challenges I faced. I am aware of it, and based on that, I have taken this decision to use these kind of things, and that is what I am insisting you guys to do. All right,
sir. What as you said, I'm so sorry. Just wanted to know, what was the most challenge you faced when you didn't use this design pattern? Or you said we are creating object, we are not allowing user object creation in user's hands.
Something very basic. The thing which is coming into my mind right now, guys, can you all go on mute if you're not speaking? Yeah, I've muted. So for example, you are here, Chrome driver is equal to new Chrome driver, right? So if I keep on doing this, then this becomes difficult for me to introduce cross-browser automation, because every time if I create this, I will have to create something or write some additional code here so that it becomes available for all the Firefox or all the other drivers, right? So this is a very, very basic thing I'm telling you right now. It's not something which as a challenge we can really manage this challenge. But these design patterns are not only for web drivers. We are right now automating an e-commerce application, which is very, very simple to do. When it comes to the more complex application, more financial applications, WebDriver is not the only thing which you have to manage. You have to manage a lot of other things, right? For example, you want to create XML at runtime. You want to create a JSON at runtime, right? Lot many times what happens, let's say you are doing a database validation. And database, what you have to do is you have to create an XML, and that XML you want to insert in the database, and then you have to go to the web browser and validate whatever information you have inserted there is coming properly onto the UI. Now these kind of scenarios, if you're not implementing the proper driver, proper design patterns, it becomes difficult for you to scale it up. Right. So what I did earlier in one of my project, I created lot of files. So I wanted to insert an XML. I used to create an XML file, and then I used to take that and I used to insert it, right? So for 5-10 test cases, it worked fine. When I enhanced the framework, and then when I had 1,000 test cases, I had 1,000 XML files, right? And if a single tag is changed in one of the XML file, I had to go and modify all those 1,000 XML files, which is a huge maintenance work, right? What would have been right for me to do was, I should have created a builder pattern class to generate that XML at runtime based on the information kept somewhere, right? But at the time, I think it was 6-7 years back. I don't know, I forgot the date, but at the time I created a framework. That is what happened with me. I had like not 1,000, but it turned out that I had 200 plus test cases, and every test case I was using a separate XML file, right? Then we have to restructure it. Then we identified the problem. They said, okay, let's not do it. Let's create a simple, create a builder pattern. So we created a builder where those XML files were not there anymore. We created a builder, and builder we were adding the values only, and tags it was automatically created. It was automatically creating those tags, and that builder was creating my XML at runtime, and that is what being injected. So whatever changes I needed to do, I used to go and change that inside that builder only. So there were no 100-200 files to modify, only single builder class or builder data I was managing. Okay, so it's really not about this WebDriver. That's what I'm trying to say. This can, if you just use this, there's no problem. You can very well work with this. Okay, but if you implement this using these kind of concepts, then your understanding of how a factory or how a builder works will improve, and that knowledge you can implement in solving different problem statement of your project. Okay, so that is the whole and sole purpose of me explaining you this.
Okay.
So by telling you this, I was just pointing out that a small example which you can understand. If you do this, it will be a problem, right? So it's always use something like this, which is a polymorphism. By the way, this is a polymorphism. Why? Because if I pass Firefox, I'll saving the same object in a same parent. Okay, so these kind of concepts, as I said, is very, very important for you to understand. I'm emphasizing this again and again. If you don't want to use it, you can very well be using this, no problem. But then you will not understand the factory pattern, singleton pattern, or any other pattern for that and any other pattern. If you want to know them, you need to implement it. And since WebDriver and driver, all these things make sense to you, it becomes easy for you to understand in this context. If you try to implement it somewhere else, it becomes difficult for you, because I just gave an example of pen and red pen and blue pen. Why? Because it's very simple to understand. Now the actual real-time problem statements are relatively difficult to manage and understand. So if you don't get it if you're not able to understand a very, very basic example, you can never implement it in a tough complex environment or tough complex problem statements. Like in the XML example I just gave, or JSON. Yeah, let's say you want to create a JSON at runtime, right? So these are actual situations in a real-time project. Okay, so my advice is use this, implement this factory, implement this singleton. By the way, you have to use only one of them. Either you will use this, or use this. If you don't want to learn this, if you're just not getting anything, you are just too frustrated, so just simply use this. That is it. Simply use this method, and that's it. If your appetite is high, explore singleton as well as this. Okay. So same holds true for DB connection also. I'm not talking about DB connection in this session, but yeah, let me add this here. Right, so DB connection also, this also was a problem statement which I think recently faced in a framework where I was kind of monitoring a framework basically. And what they had done there, it was taking too much time for their DB connection because they were doing database validations. And this is what they did not implement it. So what they were doing for each query, they were actually opening the connection again. So because of that, the DB was getting overburdened again and again and again, because every time query was fired, it was getting overburdened. And they were running things in parallel, like 40 threads in parallel they were trying to run, because they wanted to get results faster. So 40 instances, and different people were running it. So at time there were 100 connections at a time, and some DBs infrastructure is so less that they can't accommodate so many connections. So connection timeout used to come and their test cases were failing, right? So this is what I advised them, and that worked very well for them, that they created a DB connection, a singleton class for DB connection, and every time they wanted a connection, they were going to create the same instance. So different connections were not created for every query fire. Okay, so this was another problem statement which you asked Dishani. So this is also, so you need to know what you wish to do where. And this comes by experience only. It's not something which you can gain in a day. But yeah, you need to know what is the purpose of it. So DB connection is usually, it's a very well established fact that if you want to get a DB connection, it's always supposed to be a singleton. There's no rocket science there. Everyone knows that. It's just the developer of that framework were not aware of it, since that's why they, or maybe when at the time when you develop a framework, at that time it doesn't look evident that you would need any singleton here, right? For example, you will say, okay, it's a simple framework, only 100 test cases are to be automated. Why to introduce all these bullshit concepts, right? Or tricky concepts. But you never know when your framework is going to extend. And it's the scalability problem which usually happen with all the frameworks. It works well when you have 100, but it deteriorates, performance deteriorates, or it becomes flaky when you have 1000. So you need to you have to maintain the mindset that this framework would have 5000 test cases, and I need to design this framework in a way when we have 5000 test cases, it should work well at that time also. And that comes by experience, guys. That is why I'm insisting you guys to automate at least 100 test cases to get that experience on what happens when a framework becomes too bulky. Okay, enough said on this. So guys, try it out. I want to cover one more concept in this. So let me just quickly do it because we have like only how much 10 minutes left. Okay, so another change which I made here was regarding the POM file. So I would ask everyone to stop running it from here. So all people do right now is to run it from here. You do a right click and do a run as, and it gets executed. So I want everyone to stop doing that. I want you to run via Maven. Okay, you can run via Maven by two ways. Either you can just right click on the project, click on run as, and you can do it from here. I would still insist not to do it. I want you to use command line because it is quite easy to do and it enhances your knowledge of how Maven works. Okay. However, there's no difference if you run it from there or run it from there. I prefer command line. That's why I'm kind of projecting it. So how you're going to do that? Let me show you. And before even do that, let me show you what the changes which I made in the POM file here. So see, guys, I have added two profiles. Now profile, I think we discussed this in our, I think last week Q&A session which we had. So profiles are something by which you can customize the behavior of your Maven project, right? So I am right now using profiles here for telling my runner test or test that if I'm passing run-API, so if I'm passing run-API, all the test which has tags as API should execute. If I'm passing run-UI, all the tags which has UI on top of it should get executed, right? So this is my way of controlling what I wish to execute. If I want to run both, I will say run-API, run-UI. Okay, or I can also create separate profiles. So profiles is a Maven concept, by the way. And inside this, how it works is you create a tag profile, then the ID and the properties which you want to send. Okay, and inside not only properties, you can write anything inside profile. So I can write whole build, execution, everything. But I don't know if you guys, I don't want to confuse you. So I'm just keeping properties here, right? By the way, inside profiles, you can completely customize it. Like if I'm running this profile, I am only going to run these many plugins. That also you can be customized using profiles. Right now, I'm only choosing it for managing my Cucumber options. What is Cucumber options? You must have seen it here. These are your Cucumber options. And based on these Cucumber options, your test cases execute. And inside these Cucumber options, you have tags, features, and glue, right? So all that information which you have in Cucumber options, you can manage it or you can customize it using your POM file. Right now, I'm only putting tags here. So if tags are API, that is, So I have in the resources feature folder, I have API as well as UI, right? So in the API, I have these many feature files and all are annotated by @API, right? So if I want to run API test cases, let's say if I only want to run API test cases or these test cases, I'm going to pass @API tag. If I want to run UI case, I'm going to pass UI tag, right? This is what I have configured. So this is how I have structured, I am creating my framework so that I can control the execution flow from outside, right? So I've created two profiles to do that: run API, tags API, and Cucumber option tags.ui. Now the main problem state at hand is, how will I pass this information to my runner test, right? So I think at that time also I have opened this link, right? So this is, I think someone was asking about profiles last time, so I opened this page at that time. So Cucumber profiles are not available on Cucumber JVM. However, it is possible to set configuration option using Maven profiles. So Cucumber profiles is a concept which is available in Cucumber Ruby, version of it. But in Cucumber JVM, it's not there. But that profiling part can be handled using Maven profiles, right? So understand Maven profiles is a configuration setting that if I want to run specific thing, I would just put a profile and just put it here like this. Now, what I was actually talking about was, how will I pass this information to my runner test? That how will now right now how whatever information I'm sending from outside should get appended with this, and that is what should be executed, right? So for that purpose, I've created a runner test, run test. Here I am writing features and step test. I'm not writing UI or .api and the way I did it here, right? I'm not doing it anymore. I'm only doing run test. And you also notice that I have changed the name here. So run temp API, the name should not have TEST in it, because run test, that class file which has TEST name in it, is automatically being picked by Maven Surefire plugin, right? So if I go back here, what I want is whatever information I'm sending from here should get appended with the run test here, and that the whole combination of these Cucumber options should get executed. So the next thing which I did after making this change, the next thing I did, I went to my Maven Surefire plugin here, and inside the configuration section, I have written a system. I've created a tag system property variables, and inside that I have created another tag called as Cucumber options. And inside this, I am writing a variable name called as Cucumber option, which is being set at the top. So actually what is happening is, if it is run API, Cucumber option becomes tags.api. And when it starts execution, before that, it will just replace it here like this. It will just come here because it's a variable which we are using, right? If I'm passing API run, so it will replace by this. If I'm passing from there run UI, so it will be UI, right? So that is how I have parameterized my pom.xml. So this is a parameter in a pom.xml file. This is being set here based on what I'm passing. So it's simply logic, like if condition, right? If run API, then this variable becomes this, and to access this variable is yahi naam use karunga, and I just will replace it with the dollar and the double brackets, curly brackets, and this becomes a value. Okay, now last part is how will I trigger it? Okay, so what I'll do, I'll go back. I'll go to my folder structure, which is present here. Let me come here. This is my framework. I'll come here. I'll open a command line inside this, and then I'll write the Maven command, which is, oh, what happened? 1 minute. So Maven command becomes Maven clean, either install, you can just say Maven test, because all we need to do is to trigger the Surefire plugin. A Surefire plugin gets automatically executed at test phase of Maven. By the Maven has 24 phases. Test phase is one of them, where at this phase your execution, test execution happens using Surefire. So I'll write simply Maven clean test, or you can also choose to write Maven clean install. And then I have to pass the profile. So if I say -p run UI, this will execute the UI test cases. Why? Because when I say -p run a UI, I'm saying run Maven pom file where profile is run UI, where profile is run UI, run -api. And when I do this, the Cucumber option goes understand that this is what to be used, it gets here, this is replaced by hyphen text hyphen text at the rate UI. That hyphen text UI is passed where? It gets passed to the run test. It's you can understand it that tags are being appended here, tags as at the rate UI, and that is what gets executed. Okay, so let me just show you. If I do run UI, it will start executing the UI test cases. So here it is telling you which test case is running, and UI test case, you know, it has started execution for the UI test cases. And this has lately failing. I don't know why, because it couldn't find something, right? No, it's passed. The test case is passed. Now, if I want to run the API, now API test cases, if I want to run only API, so I'll write run hyphen API, and what it will do, it will go here. It will go to this pom.xml file, and it will just, you know, replace it with the API and do it. Let me just quickly do it. By the way, guys, meeting is going to get over soon. Let me do one thing. Let me send another link. We'll discuss for 10-15 minutes more on question answer, then we'll call it a day. Let me just run this. So see now the UI tests are not running. It's the API test cases which are running. Okay, guys. So this is how it is. Let me send you a new link for you guys, because this meeting is going to get over. Thanks.